rivalry. And so far in 2009, we have seen some epic collegiate encounters. First, there was the international skirmish between California and their northern neighbors, the University of British Columbia. Next was an intrastate struggle between Utah and the Cougars of BYU. But today may be the most famous rivalry in collegiate sports, as the cadets from Army take on the midshipmen from the Naval Academy. It's a battle for military supremacy. Next on the National Guard Game of the Week. Welcome, everyone, to ESPN coverage of the National Guard Game of the Week, coming to you from Navy Marine Memorial Stadium in Annapolis, Maryland, where today Army takes on the home team, Navy. And hello again, everybody. I'm Dave Sitton, along with Brian Bizzard, here at a very special campus. Brian, everybody who's gone to college or even knows people who goes to college know their favorite rivalry, but there is no rivalry across the board like Army-Navy.
Well, both these coaches swelled with pride when they talked about this rivalry and the respective teams. And both these teams, Army and Navy, they're usually in the playoff picture at year's end. But you talk to these kids, and the one result they remember is when these two teams face each other. And more importantly, as Rich Palaido, the Army coach, said, when they graduate from the respective institutions, they're all on the same team.
Yes, but not today. They're back on their respective teams. All right, let's talk about last time out. Army with a big win, and they did it with underclassmen.
Well, Army won 40-7 when they played in West Point in the fall, and they did do it with a comprise of mainly a bunch of underclassmen. They're continuing these winning ways in the spring, and they're going to count on those underclassmen again today. Number 8, sophomore Pete Belden. This kid is just a tremendous player, gets all around the field. He's got a wonderful understanding of the game. He's very experienced, quick off the base of the scrum, all the skills you want in your number 8. And to make matters even more important for him, this is his first start against this Navy side. Another important figure is sophomore fly half Dave Geib. Geib came in last year, did a fantastic job. He has a great understanding of the game as well, has really led this back line, and he has got the one asset that all good fly halves have, and that's composure.
All right, Brian, like all good rivalries, this is quite a tug-of-war. Navy won last time out a year ago here, 1917, but it's been a very inconsistent up and down year this year for Mike Flanagan.
Yeah, Mike Flanagan, very, very inconsistent year, you're right. And again, he said last year when Army won so big, they gave him so much time to work with the ball. He has vowed that his team this year is going to be the one to force the issue. And one of those guys to force the issue is flanker Sean Roars. This kid, as Flanagan said, he's a diamond in the rough, a real gem out there. Will give him everything he has for 100% for the entire match. Great defender, great in close contact drills. And the guy who's going to lead the offense is their captain, number 9, Kevin Dewey. This kid is not the biggest guy in there, but he's got the big heart, huge work rate, lots of skills, and again, he's going to have all those attributes to contain this very potent Army team today.
All right, Brian, we know that the players are all ready, the coaches are too. Our Maria Prekagis had a chance to visit with both of them. Maria.
Thanks, Dave. I did get a chance to visit with both of the coaches right before the match, and it's not just about the rivalry, but as you mentioned, the matchup for these two teams.
It's Army-Navy. That is what it is. I mean, there's no more to say than those 3 words. It's Army-Navy. I mean, the passion, the commitment. Both of these teams want to win this one so bad. Particularly the seniors, they want to go away, leaving their service academy with a win over each other. So it's going to be a real battle.
Navy's a tough team. They like to play a lot of inside ball and put a lot of pressure on the breakdown. And on both sides, we're going to have to play up and play aggressive. Really starve them with the ball for the most part, and then, see what happens after that.
And talk to me about the age and compare these two teams.
Well, I think we're balanced out pretty young, both teams, but however balanced out. We have some firsties, some seniors in the front row, and some guys scattered throughout the field with some experience. However, Navy kind of has the same setup, so we're waiting to see what happens. We've been studying some film on them and watching them, so I think we'll be okay. I think both teams will balance out, so it'll be all right.
All right, make no mistake about it. It doesn't matter the sport. It happens to be rugby today. It's next on ESPN. Army, Navy from Annapolis. The kickoff is up next. As you see this great setting here on the campus of the United States Naval Academy at Annapolis, the Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium here this afternoon has been a busy place. As we take a look at the starting lineups for both teams. First of all, Army, let's take a look at the forwards first, Brian.
Yeah, and again, they're skippered by Tom Sandonato, a fantastic captain. He leads by examples also with the big sticks. And also Bob O'Neill, aggressive on attack and defense on that flanker position.
And now to the backs.
Well, you look at John Wagner, great distributor, nice box kick, team vice captain. He's going to have a big game today. And Latu Vahai, again, this guy's a very potent winger out there, very, very good.
All right, now let's take a look at the Navy front 8.
Well, you look at Alan Higgins and Sheridan Catlin and Jason Ryder. They're the ones who have this responsibility of trying to contain this very potent front row. Dan Hall, Andy Sock, very good in the second rows. And in the back, Chuck Smith, senior Marine pilot. He was a backup number 9 last year, has really stepped up. And also look at Chip Nealon. This guy is a supreme finisher, so watch out for him today.
All right. Army-Navy here from Annapolis, Maryland. And it's Army kicking with the wind at their back. Make that the Navy kicking with the wind at their back. And Army takes it into the shadows just outside the 22-meter line. And the first kick cleared out. As you mentioned, Wagner, the halfback, taken by Navy at midfield. Talked to Mike Flanagan, the Navy coach, before the game, and he said all he wanted to do is win the coin flip and have this win in the first half. He's got it, and it is brisk.
Oh, it's amazing. We're probably going to see a lot of Gary Owens today, Dave. A lot of high balls trying to test the back 3. And if I was Army, you know, just try to kill this first 40 minutes playing against the wind. You just want to kill it until you get the wind at your back.
Well, the wind is at our side right now, so this will be one of our battles up here, keeping the papers on the desk. Scrum collapses. They're going to let it go again, and it's an Army put in.
And Dave, really looking forward to this battle today. Flanagan said, you know, this could be a big surprise for this Army side. He really thinks his team has changed a lot since last fall. 8 different players in the starting lineup, so there's going to be a lot of new guys out there against this Army side today.
Out it comes. Army with a nice little break taken forward by Geib. Recycle over the top goes O'Neill. And third time around for Army. Right back to Geib again with a little chip. They're going to test the other side. Taken by Cole. Cole's going to punt it down and directly into touch. So the Army is going to have a line out inside Naval territory.
As you saw, that kick was in front of the 22. So line out all the way back where he kicked it from, and it's going to be an Army put in. This is an area where they think they can control Navy. Navy's had all sorts of fits in the line out issues this year.
And the throw was not directly down the line. Navy will have the choice of another line out or a scrum, and you pretty much know what they're going to choose. It's a scrum down to the Naval Academy.
And especially with the line out and the wind, when they go to the back of the line, it's going to play havoc with it. We're probably going to see a lot of balls with the front jumper today.
See number 19, Kevin Dew, you talked about him. He's an explosive ordnances disposal man for our country, or soon will be on a full-time basis when he's finished with his rugby here. Taken from the back of the scrum. That's by Magnuson. And a break. Nicely done and intercepted that time by the Army's Bob O'Neill. Flanker was in the right place at the right time. Turnover ball to Army. And Navy came in, dove over the top. They lost their feet. Quick tap. You expect this from both academies out here, Brian, with the quick tap. Although that pass into touch. The referee says they were not back 10 meters, so Army is going to get another chance.
Well, that's where Wagner's going to do so well here. The quick tap penalties. Here it is. You can see the defense not back 10. There's the quick tap. And there's the defenders coming up really quick. The referee said play on.
All right, so this time now, instead of a quick tap, they're going to kick it to touch. And a line out very quickly. Army moving into position. It'll be their line out after the penalty kick. Nice take at the top that time. That was by big Dan Moulton, the second row. Here comes Army again. Guy makes the first break. Into the corner it goes, into Vahai's. And did he make it? Yes, he did.
Yeah, nice finish by Latu Vahai. This guy, they're going to try to get the ball in his hands as much as possible today. And you saw the nice play by Geib and Minton coming into the line brilliantly. And that created enough space out wide for Latu Vahai to score the game's first try. But good ball movement by this Army side. Here's another look at it. Watch Guy. He makes the initial line of defense. They got to cut him down, but look at the offload to Minton. And there's Vahai. He got grounded. He got cut short, held onto the ball. Perfect play and was able to ground the ball. Good call by the referee and the assistant referee on the side.
One of the things about this field, you see a good look there now at the yellow striping. There's as the kick is knocked out. It was a nice attempt by Mike Fleming, but there's no way kicking on an angle against that wind. But as you take a look at the field out here, they had lacrosse here last night and again today. Rugby, and of course there's football markings here. Home of the midshipmen, and lots going on in this magnificent park.
Yeah, but just the second rugby game here.
Yep.
The debut was last year when Navy came out on top 19-17. This could be a chance for Navy to get on the board.
Held on into the tackle, and just as we expected, Brian, right back they come. Here comes the Navy this time. Their biggest foray deep into Army territory. It was Dave Christensen, the center, who took it into the first tackle. Here comes the recycle now, and the ball was knocked forward in the second to tackle. Scrum to Army.
Boy, Dave, you just wonder with that wind behind, I think there was plenty of distance for the Navy to try to put 3 points on the board. Trying to get at those early 3 points, always a nice little morale booster.
Well, you always figure that in a game like this, that it might come down to 1 or 2 points. That was the case in this building last year. 1917 was the final, so get them while you can. And a penalty offside against Navy. Oh. You saw a little discussion that was getting a little bit warmer, and the young men, the Black Knights, went ahead and grabbed one of their own to keep him from getting in any altercation. Here's Geib's kick into touch. It does its job, and Army is going to have a line out near midfield.
Yeah, nice kick by Geib into this wind. Picked up about 15 or 20 meters for his side. And again, good strategy, great throw into this wind, a nice little burst.
Mike Rowan made the play, and it was Navy offside, so another kick to Army.
Yeah, John Wagner's having a good start for this Army side, really keeping his team in the go forward on the front foot. Little sniping runs through the forward pack of this Navy side.
Geib again with the good punt, and Army in almost the same position where they scored from a minute ago.
And I really like what they're doing here. They're killing some time off the clock too with the line-out throws. Again, great take in that line. I think that was Rowan in the middle of that Army line-out.
Geib moves it back. They bring in the wing from the blind side. That was Mike Fleming who hit the deck. And somebody held on to the ball in the tackle. Penalty the other way now. Now this will be interesting. They'll bring in their fullback, Jason Redder, who's, Jake Cole, who has quite a soccer background. We still see him bang this thing. And with the wind at his back, he picks up about 40 meters or so. It'll be a line out to Navy on the Army side of the field.
And Dave, I think that was Sean Roars we talked about in the pregame about how demonstrative he is at the tackle area, and he certainly did a great job stooling that ball, creating that penalty for his Navy team. Good throw that time. Beautiful throw by Sheridan Catlin.
They brought the fullback in. He makes the big break, does Cole. Down he goes. Here comes the recycle. Very quickly, they use the forwards again. That's Andy Zock. Zock continues to march forward against Army. Here's the third phase. Big bang that time. Chuck Smith felt it. Ran into some forwards from Army. And I thought so. It was that time Kevin Dewey ran in back of one of his own men. And as a result, obstruction and another kick. This will be the 7th penalty awarded to Army.
And here's a look at it. Watch the backs. There you see the dummy runner came in, took a couple of defenders out of the way of the referee. No choice but to call that. Good call by the referee, and Army clears the touch again out towards the 10-meter line.
Yeah, we mentioned the penalty count so far. 7 penalties against Army, 3 against Navy. And our referee today, Gareth Morgan, he's originally from South Africa. And that's the way he's seen it so far. Here comes Army again. They have held the possession for most of this first half. And they've got the lead 5-0. Nice running by Geib. You can see, Brian, why they like him so much. very physical fly half.
Yeah, and he just came in last year, so he hasn't been playing a whole lot at the fly half position, but so far doing a pretty good job orchestrating this backline attack for the Cadets.
And a chip that gets by Cole. Got that big breeze again. That wasn't his best effort. Taken by Geib. Geib is going to send it where they ain't, and that's going to put Cole back on the retreat. Gets a little help from the wing. Nalen, who puts it into touch. And it will be an Army lineout on this near side of the field.
And I think Rich Polito's got to be pretty happy with the way his team is treating this wind in the first half. Control and play. Navy's had it down there a couple of times, but for the most part, it's been Army in control. Nice take again. The lineout's perfect.
Well, it certainly has been big. Here he goes again. This guy's like a rabbit. He's loose again. Latuvahi. Ball knocked in the tackle. So the Navy playing with advantage, and referee Morgan says stop it.
And I think we're getting an idea why they want to get the ball in Vahai's hands as much as possible. As you said, he just squirts right free through the defense. He's an exchange cadet from Tonga, so he's here for 4 years. Just kind of walked on the practice field one day. Had played some rugby, but not much organized rugby, and really fitting into this Army pattern well.
And the pattern has put him in position to give the Corps of Cadets a 5-0 lead. And they take it from the 8 kick that time by the halfback, and it goes straight into touch. I'm not sure that's what they had in mind. Dewey's kick from the pass from Tom Magnuson. And it'll be another line out to Army, and this has been a spectacular success for Army so far this afternoon, and they do it again. They bring it down on the tap. Good hard running turnaround that time at the back of the line out. Belden, who we talked about before the game began, took all that. Again, Army charges directly into the naval defense. And it's taken away by Navy, and here they are on the break. Get it out wide. It's Nalen. Offload into midfield, taken by the cover defense by the Army. So another opportunity for the United States Naval Academy. They come up empty, at least for the moment. It's a ruck to Army. Geib with the clearing kick. Instead puts it right down the middle. Gets by Cole. Here comes Jake. Gets it to Bova. Bova the wing into tackle near midfield. And a penalty. Quick tap, just like that. Navy at the 10 meters line on the Army side of the field, very close to touch that time. And the recycle coming up. Nope, held onto it in the tackle. Penalty the other way. Well, Brian, one of the things that Mike Flanagan has talked about, having a young team, a lot of mistakes, and boy, there have been a lot of penalties against Navy already. I believe it's about 9 in the count so far.
Well, David, you mentioned it's a pretty young side, pretty inexperienced side for this Navy squad. You know, if they can hold on, they're only trailing by 5-0 right now. If they can hold on, try to get a couple of scoring opportunities, try to get to this halftime close, which they did last time out, but then the second half, the gates kind of blew open for them. So they're gonna have to really suck it up here.
Take after the end of the line out, that's Roars. Skip it out into the centers. This is Hartzog. Hartzog with 1 to beat. Nice open field tackle that time by Josh Minton. Get it out to the wing, and one more pass out to the fullback, Cole. Cole over, and they're going to say the pass was forward. No try.
Yeah, one more forward. He had to run harder there. He had to get that 2-on-1 a lot quicker than that. It didn't develop quick enough, and that was number 11. That was Chip Nalen. Should have ran at the defense a little bit harder, creating that 2-on-1. Had the man outside, just didn't happen, but a good run upfield again by Hartzog. That's the second or third time he's found a break in this Army defense. Still not a bad position down here. They got the wind going against them. Maybe if they can put some pressure on. No penalties down here. You never want to see a penalty. Give them a free access. You might make them work to get out of their own territory.
Army behind the 22 with their second ruck after the successful scrum, setting up Guy. His kick into touch floats. And Navy, just as you said, Brian, with that wind, they'll have a line out just outside 22 meters. 5-0 in favor of West Point, taking on Annapolis on our National Guard game of the week.
And I'm sure Mike Flanagan would love to see his lineup connect here. It's been one of the areas that has been really giving him fits so far this year. The hookers have been working hard, but the throw just hasn't been there. Let's see if they say that was straight. Yes, it is.
Nope. They got caught.
Nope. It wasn't straight.
And my guess was about correct. Navy 9 penalties, Army 5 here midway through the first half.
Well, here's another area. Again, if you can just be patient, play the good defense, force Army to kick it out of bounds, you know, probably not going to pick up too much territory, and then try to reset for another line out. But let's see what they do here. Army, if the defense is back, they're going to run it. Nice little scrum, little trouble.
Offside, and that one is going to be against the halfback Dewey. So Kevin.
There's good pressure.
Great defensive play that time by the big prop Alan Higgins. He's a junior. Came across, spun Wagner down to the deck. So Army for a moment without their scrum half until they can find him at the bottom of the ruck. Here he is emerging. There's the guy this time. This is going to be a tough kick, and it goes on a hop into touch. So a line out for Navy near midfield.
This
reminds me, it reminds me of Wellington, New Zealand, perhaps the windiest of all rugby venues on the planet. And today, Annapolis is leading Wellington, trust me.
And again, you got to look for the front of the line if you're throwing the ball in the line out here. You just cannot gamble to go to the back. It's going to get skewed too high. There's a nice throw. Good take.
And it's going to be tough to make that long halfback pass. In the tackle goes Dave Christensen. And the kick. They're going to test this time. Minton. Josh, very close to the touchline. With a move, he's got some space. Nice play by Minton. Here's the fullback. Kicks it to his counterpart. Jake Cole has trouble. Now with the wing kick. Looking for the box. They knew the fullback was up. Let's see how this ball goes. It's going to go right through the dead ball line. And that's one of the difficult things for players to remember. When you've got that big breeze at your back, you have to send the ball literally straight up in the air. Otherwise, that's going to go right at the back of the dead ball line, and that's exactly what happened on that play.
And Dave, even though that's not a penalty, I mean, that's much better than a penalty. It gives Army possession all the way across midfield. Scrum possession. I mean, perfect area. Both sides they can attack on. They got a split back line. Let's see where the fullback goes. But I tell you, if you get a good scrum, you can do lots of damage with back row moves, especially in this area.
5-0 in favor of Army. They've got the scrum. As you take a good look at the front rows and the engagement, John Wagner loses it, and it was a knock-on. So the Navy playing with a little bit of house money and advantage right now. Bull in the China closet running that time is Alan Higgins. And the Army penalized, and they're going to make him bring it back. Offside against Army.
I think we saw a little bit of hands in there. That was a good defensive play by Kevin Dewey at that last scrum. Is that going to
big
find
mistake.
It? No,
oh, he does. He just does.
Well, he played the win brilliantly.
Well, the other thing you know is that Sun, and speaking of Sun, who delights us, Maria.
Thanks, Dave. The ladies Army rugby team came all the way down from West Point to cheer their men on. I'm with the captain here and the whole entire team. There we go, ladies. So talk to me a little bit, not only collegiate sports, but rugby in general. How does it prepare not only the women and the men for after college and what you guys are facing?
Well, ma'am, as we've heard from a lot of officers, having played rugby, that it's a really great sport to develop what you need to have as an officer. Quick decision making, working together as a unit, 15 girls on the field, and I love it. It's great. The development we have as a team really bonds us together.
Well, thanks so much, and back to you guys.
All right, thank you, ladies, all of you. Navy did not score on the line out, but here they are again, inside 22 meters, attacking once again. They go to the right.
Where a couple of night flat passes by this Navy attack, getting off. Oh, so close. Now referee has advantage out for Army.
Pass taken in, and they're going to say knock on. So a scrum to Army.
And Dave, we were a great play by Magnuson, the number 8 for Navy on that last quick line out. It went awry, but he did well to recover. Kept his team going forward, almost created a scoring opportunity for his midi teammates. But still good pressure, wind against them. I mean, if Navy can do a good job here on this scrum, keep applying the pressure, gonna get another throw in their possession down deep.
And this is where they really could use turning one. They don't get it done that time. Kick out by Guy. And once again, Navy with an opportunity inside 22 meters, another line out. They still trail 5-0.
You know, last year Navy lost not too many players from the graduating side, but they lost a lot of leadership guys out there, and this is where you get players like a Kevin Dewey who really need to step up and try to lead this team. He's one of the few seniors on the squad. Oh, and they do a good job throwing the tail. Unfortunately, Andy Zock couldn't come down with it. Again, scoring opportunities, you don't get too many of them. You got to take advantage.
Not in games at this level. That's one of the interesting things about the younger teams. It's almost like they feel that rugby's a lot like basketball. You get like unlimited possessions per game. And you get into your rivalry games, you get into your upper level games, and every single possession becomes precious. And let's talk about the Army defense so far. They've bent a couple of times, but not broken so far. And here they are again.
Oh, that was a good scrum by Navy. Put a lot of pressure on, but an equally good play. I think that was Pete Belden, the Army number 8, who took it up.
Dive, looking for a place to kick it, does. And it's going to take a big bounce for Army. And look at this. It was taken by Sheehan, and he gets it to Vahai. Vahai is brought down by the covering Navy defense, but still Army on the advantage. And a penalty against Navy after the tackle.
AT, come over.
Yeah, Dave, that was Chip Nayland that brought down Vahai. Good pursuit by the Navy winger, number 11.
And a perfect bounce to Sheehan.
And there's the tackle. Good cover defense by Nayland. Corner flagged well. And Vahai did well to get the ball back to his side. Navy got pinged for the call. And Army right back at it, 5 meters out with a good line-out opportunity.
They are spectacular with the lineouts, particularly with the wind here this afternoon. Guy.
Hey, did a good job there, not forcing that pass.
Third phase. Patience will be the virtue for Army here without a mistake. Trying to extend a 5-0 lead. First half. And off Vahai's hands. It'll be a scrum down to Navy. Well, maybe a little too much.
Well, that's positive for Navy. Now all they got to do is get that good scrum possession, get it back to the fly half, and let them put it up in this wind and try to get as much territory as you can, get it right back down on the Army end of the field.
Just before Maria chatted with the Army women's team, we were talking about the sun, and quite frankly, Navy's got two advantages right now. They have got the sun at their back, which is in its setting mode, and of course this wind we've been experiencing altogether. And this kick is not going to find touch. Vahai, and he takes it into touch. So it'll be a line out to Army.
Yeah, the assistant referee said he was standing in touch when he caught that ball.
So the Army's Tom Sendonato, the skipper. And that was one of the few times today that he's missed. Otherwise, he's been absolutely spectacular throwing the ball in on the lineouts. So we'll take a timeout here. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back. We're at Annapolis, Maryland. I'm Dave Sitton, along with Brian Vizard, Maria Prekachis, and our entire crew. ESPN's coverage of the National Guard Rugby Game of the Week. 5-0 in favor of Army. The Navy setting sail inside Army territory.
And there's a little bit of that forcing the issue that Navy talked about prior to this game today. They thought Army really took it to them last year when they won 40-7, but Dewey's doing a good job here, weaving in and out of this Army defense.
He was fortunate not to have another obstruction call, Brian.
Yep.
And was it offside? I believe. Yep, offside assessed against Army.
Boy, long advantage played by referee Gareth Morgan that time. Came back. It's going to be a nice benefit for Army. What did they say? They didn't signal for poles there today.
Well, I watched prior to the start of the game Jake Cole warm up. I think he does with the wind have that kind of thing. Look at this though. And on the punt, gets to about 10 meters with the wind at his back.
Yeah, he should have put that one a lot more downfield. Just let that wind take the ball into touch. As it was, not a great pickup. And let's see about the line out here. Last time was a brilliant throw right in the middle. I think it was Andy Zock that took it down last time. Let's see what they do here.
Take a look at Sheridan Caitlin. Although he's throwing the ball up in the air, he's surface warfare specialist. Guy goes down in the tackle. Midway between the halfway line and the 22. Line it out. Nice big tackle that time as Andy Dill got belted, and it was offside against Navy, so another kick to Army. And Guy was going to guide it into touch.
Looked like Dave Christensen might have come up just a little bit too quick that time for the Navy defense. Guy, good job keeping it low. Into touch.
And Garrett Morgan's having a midfield discussion with Kevin Dewey, wanting some clarification about penalties, and they're going to bring it back. And I believe it was because of the discussion. Time was out as far as the referee was concerned. So Dive gets another chance, and this time does not find touch. One of the few mistakes made by Army today. We'll see if they can counter. Here comes the Navy. This is Nayland, who made that big tackle a moment ago. Brings the ball past 10 meters on the Naval side of the field. They're playing with advantage. I believe one of the cadets was offside. Here comes a big heave outside again. Nice bit of stepping outside by Navy. Cross midfield. Ball taken down by Osley. Now the kick. And they're going to bring back a penalty offside against Army. And it's right at halfway.
And again, another very long advantage played by referee Morgan. Wants to keep the flow of the game going, giving each one of these teams an opportunity to do some damage with it. And again, let's see if he can make a better kick here to try to gain a little bit more territory. And he should be 5 meters, 10 meters out with this wind. Just put it up in the air and let it go.
Here he goes. You know, the young man, I'm not sure. He's played some soccer, but I'm not sure he understands how the rugby ball flies. He kind of weaves that one into touch just outside 22. And that penalty count, Brian, pretty much as it has been the entire game. 2/3 of them against Navy, 15, Army 10. And that's been part of the story why Army has been able to sustain the lead against this brisk wind. Great
That's a good throw. Yep. Almost, Zock almost came down with it cleanly. Navy does retain possession, but there's the slight knock. I think the side judge says that was just slightly knocked on, but perfect throw that time by the hooker for Navy. That's Sheridan Catlin. Yep. Again, a senior, 3rd year playing. Coach loves him. He's the hardest guy on the team. And you got to love Catlin. He loves playing defense. See, that's what he lives out there for. Leads the scrum, high work rate, former wrestler.
Who needs the ball? We don't need no stinking ball. We want to tackle people. Well, Navy gets a chance to tackle now. Move it back inside. They read Guy like a book. He was trying to set up the wing coming in from the blind side. Instead, Navy going to take advantage of it. They move it outside. Here's Caitlin with the ball in hand. Sends it outside into touch. Goes Bova, the left wing. Army line out inside their own 22.
Yeah, Bova need to do a little bit better job with field awareness. He was just running out of room over there. Should have cut right back inside, try to hook up with his Navy forwards coming over.
To take that time by Hall.
Oh, you gotta love the way Dewey plays. Just a little scrappy guy out there.
He's not afraid to mix it up with anybody. And what do you expect from a guy who likes ordnance that blows up?
You know, Navy's starting to find themselves. They cut away from the penalties for the most part, starting to retain some possession. Good drives by the forwards. Oh, nice drive.
Navy trying to get over the line for the first time today. Sean roars with the big run.
Oh.
Dewey squirts around the side. He's so close to the line. It's the gold line, not the white line on your screen. And he was over the gold line that Dewey went.
Not sure who got credit for that, but Dewey, I thought Dewey was going to score on his own there.
Yep.
Look at this gap open, Dave. Right there, I thought he was going to stay out wide and score the try. Let's see who picks this up. There's a couple of forwards trying to pick and drive. Boy, it's a mess down there.
You know, it might very well be. It was Alan Higgins, number 3. Keep an eye on 3. I think that's who picks it up on that hammer down in there at the end of the sequence.
Well, I'm not going to argue with the prop. Okay, we'll give it to Higgins. But good team try that time by this Navy, and good fight back.
All right, here's Jake Cole, as we mentioned, a soccer background. Freshman. He has scored in every game this year for Navy. Here's his opportunity with his conversion. Sends it up, and he sends it through. And Navy waited a half an hour into this match to score, and when they do, they take the lead on the try and the conversion by Cole, and Navy leads this match 7 points to 5.
And tremendous response that time by this Navy side. Good pick and go. You know, they're starting to see a little more confidence out of this Navy side. Stay away from the penalties, just play good solid possession ball, and you can do a lot of good things with it.
Well, Army will have their turn with this wind at their back, and of course Navy's had an opportunity to pin Army a little bit, and as you know, Brian, very well, it takes a little more energy to play defense than offense in this match.
Well, yeah, it takes a lot of time to try to work your way down there, and then only one kick to go all the way back downfield, so it's a lot easier, obviously, playing with the wind at your back. Navy's just got to be smart in the second half. They made a game of it here, taking the lead.
Here's one of the new rules. Navy had the possession in front of the 22. They sent it back to Cole. Cole was behind the 22. At that point, ineligible to kick it directly to touch, and that's why Army has the line out just outside the 22.
And there's that precise Army line out once again.
A lot of blocker play to the fullback. That's Jake Cole.
Yep, a lot of movement in that Army back line.
Nice defensive stop by the Navy midfield. And obstruction as Army used their own as a blocker. Can't do that.
Oh,
Navy.
Look, again, Dave, quick pace.
You know, you expect that from the service academies. You know, we play and see Air Force quite a bit, and all 3 service academies like to take that ball on the run from the penalty. Fitness is really not an issue at Air Force, Army, or Navy.
Yeah, we're guaranteed 80 minutes of hard rugby when you place these guys.
Here's the kick from Smith. Vahai has trouble on the bounce, off of his hands, out of bounds, into touch. And the Navy with an opportunity after the wing. Latu Vahai has a trouble handling that kick. And now Navy.
Well, we've seen Vahai on the offensive side of things have things go his way here. Unfortunately, twice. You can see him take his eyes just off there again at the last minute. 2 slight knock-ons into touch. Referee says line out to Navy. Oh, good
nice
job
take
by Roars again.
To give it to the big kid. That's the lock. Number 4 going forward is Andy Zock. Zock at 6'3", 220 pounds. Believe it or not, he's a high school wrestler. And Navy again coming into the tackle in 2s and 3s. And the ball was blown dead. It looked as if it was taken down into the ruck. The referee, Gareth Morgan, says, let's go ahead and give you the scrum.
Dave, really good composure by this Navy side. We're seeing the centers take a little more ball upfield. Dave Christensen and Matt Hartzog really pounding into this Navy backline defense. And let's see what Dewey does here. He's got a little bit of room on that weak side. Scrum's been pretty stable. Oh, there it is. Just a little too long.
Dewey's going to chip it. I think he is going to wish he had not.
Oh.
He was hoping that his wing Matt Bova was going to be able to get it. Oh, offside against Army. My goodness, what a break for Navy.
Yeah, excellent break here. Let's see if they go for the line out. There's a little kick through, just a little bit too much weight on it. I would like to see Dewey hang on to that ball.
Not an advocate of kicking possession away inside 10 meters.
And there's Nayland. Nayland was the one who was trying to race down. We seen his speed earlier when he cut down Vahai.
All right, Jake Cole will move in from fullback. He hit a conversion from about the same spot on the other side of the field a moment ago. This time the wind will be truly at his back, slightly favoring him with this angle. And trying to extend the Navy lead from 7 to 5 and make it 5 points. Let's see. Dead on.
Hey, how do you like that, huh? Good kicking. We did watch him in warm-ups a little bit. He's hitting some nice balls.
Navy with the field goal takes the 10-5 advantage with about 5 minutes to go in the first half. Army scored in the first 10 minutes, and Navy waited to score until after the 30-minute mark. Now they put up a converted try and a penalty goal, and they'd like to get one more with the wind at their back before halftime. Here comes your kick. Going to test Army's backfield. Here comes the counterattack. And the kick going to be taken by Christensen. Christensen upended between the halfway line and 22 meters. Kick goes directly to Josh Minton, the fullback from Army. Stutter steps, gets to halfway. Down he goes into tackle. Navy almost with the pick. That time it was Hartzog who almost had it. He would have been gone. Instead, Army hangs on to the possession. Hammer forward another couple of meters. And again, nice close order drilling this time by the Army. That was Chris Frederick, the tight head prop, who took it forward. A little chip kick from the back of the ruck by Wagner. Kind of gave possession away there. Here comes Navy now. See if they can take advantage. Move it outside. Here comes the kick. And it's going to be a good kick. A lot of pressure going to come on to Army. Geib just does get the pass away to Minton. Minton is going to go down, and now Navy converges. And a big hit at the ruck. And Army hanging on to it. An obstruction on Army. Here comes the quick tap. Dewey with a quick tap after big hit that time.
He couldn't have been 10 meters. Referee playing advantage.
Yep. And I believe he's going to take a look at the possibility. I don't think it's a cardable offense.
Well, watch Matt Bova. He already tracked down Geib, and then all of a sudden he throws Minton on the floor. Good pressure by the Navy defense, getting there quickly, able to turn this ball. The counter rucking, great job. Was that number 7? James Owsley, outstanding defense work by your open side flanker. And we're seeing yellow, Dave.
Yeah, it's Andy Dill. He put up the big hit. I think it was not dangerous as much as it was professional. He hit him, not retreating 10 meters. So Army, for at least the remainder of the first half and starting into the second half, will be without one of their own, playing with 14 now. Meanwhile, Navy positions Jake Cole to fire his gun.
Just about in the same place.
Spot.
Oh, that's a huge break for Navy. 10 minutes, man advantage. They'll be playing about almost the first 10 minutes of that second half into the wind with that man advantage. Couldn't work out better for them.
And Cole hits again. That kick's so important, Brian, because you know if you're Mike Flanagan and Navy, you want at least a 2-score lead going into half, and that's now what they have, 13-5. Let's have one more look now at this hit delivered by Andy Dill. He wasn't retreating back far enough. There was nothing wrong with that hit.
Well, it might have been the pile drive. He could have eased up a little bit more. I'm not sure if it was the dangerous hit or the professional foul, but either way, he's in the bin, and that kick might go straight out. Boy, it's just all falling apart right now for Army. They got to get to this locker room and regroup a little bit.
Oh, they will, and they'll have that wind at their back in the second half. Make no mistake about it. So the kick travels directly into touch. Navy will have the scrum at midfield. They have dominated the last 10 minutes of this first half, scoring 13 unanswered points. Army had that 5-0 lead for most of the half, and with 10 minutes remaining, Navy's lit up the scoreboard for 3 scores, 13 points.
And Dave, it's been pretty simple. They've eliminated mistakes. I mean, they're playing good pressure defense, which they wanted to do at the start of this game, and they've cut down on the penalties. They had about 9 penalties, I think, in the first few minutes, and they've done a great job cutting that number down.
Here comes Dewey again. He gets it to Naylor. Big tackle by Army. There's Dewey busy again, looking for places to go. He's going to chip again.
Oh, this could be good for him.
And yep, it is, as Jay Cole takes possession of it for Navy, deep inside Army territory. Here comes the recycle. Out it goes. Into the centers. This is Hartzog. Hartzog straight ahead. Hartzog in for the try.
Wow. Just at the 40-minute mark. Outstanding. Boy, I really like the way that Kevin Dewey has really got the up-tempo going with this Navy side. Dewey's at every breakdown. There's Hartzog. He's made 2 or 3 breaks through that defensive line. Big kid in the centers, and he's a happy man right now. And there's Dewey, outstanding pass in the gap. Oh, Christensen almost had it himself. It knocked backwards, though, right to
Matt Hartzog,
right,
who was originally recruited to play football here at the academy and elected to change to a different code of football. And right now it's paying off for this institution. As you take a look at Jake Cole, who's been deadly accurate with a conversion and 2 penalties. And make that 4 kicks now. 2 conversions, 2 goals, and Navy with a lead now of 20-5 over Army. And that concludes the first half. Wow, what a half it was.
And there's the skipper doing a great job congratulating his team off the field. Looking forward to that second 40.
All right, Brian, let's take a moment. Let's go down to Maria.
Thanks, guys. Coach, you guys were the first to score, but you've lost a little momentum. What are you going to tell your guys at halftime?
Well, that's basically it. We got to pull some momentum back. We got the wind of our backs now. I think we could beat them around the corner if we get the ball out wide. Just got to be a little bit more patient with the breakdown, stick to the pattern, and I think we'll have some success in the second half.
All right, good luck. We'll see you then. Guys?
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, sir. Well, Coach, there is going to be a lot to be talked about by both sides. One of those things, the climate change for each team coming up in the second half. We'll be back with more from Annapolis, Maryland. It's halftime with our score, Navy 20, Army 5. United States Naval Academy in Annapolis. I'm Dave Sitnell. I'm Brian Vizard. Maria Prekaji's down on the sidelines with us this afternoon. And Brian, I tell you what, Navy just all over Army for just 10 minutes. And look at that scoreboard. They trailed 5-0 for 30 minutes and came up with a 20 spot to close out the half.
Well, Mike Flanagan said there could be a few surprises today, and we're seeing them. I mean, Navy, once they started getting their composure, they really took it to this Army side. And again, the wind's going to play a factor in the second half. If they can keep that composure, it's going to be a great finish.
All right, Brian, you'd figure at a place like this, we get some heavy Navy brass. That's exactly what Maria's done. Maria.
Yes, I'm standing here with Admiral David Stone, and we keep talking about the rivalry all day between these two teams, and there's no one better. You used to play basketball.
I did. 1974, I graduated the Naval Academy and on the basketball team there, and loved every minute of it.
And talk to me, this rivalry, so important.
Yes, it's an intense rivalry. It's really, we have so much in common with the other service academies. So when you meet on the field of play in athletic competition, it's intense, but there's a lot more in common between the schools than there are differences. And after the games are over, it's time to go out and serve your country.
Well, I was speaking to the girls Army rugby team, and they were talking about it, how sports of any kind prepares you.
It really does. You learn a lot about leadership, about effective partnership, and the friendships last a lifetime. So we like to call it the 3 ships of leadership, partnership, and friendship that you get from the athletic competition that you carry on throughout your life.
Well, we are just honored to have you today. Enjoy the rest of the game. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, both of you, and thank you for your service, Admiral. How about that?
You talked about the rivalry, and Mike Flanagan came here. The first game he coached at Navy, his seniors are crying in the try zone. They only lost by a few points, but they're crying in the try zone. He couldn't figure out why. And these guys had never beaten this Army team in the whole duration they were at the Naval Academy. So there is a lot of importance to this rivalry.
Well, that and also this setting, this fabulous Navy and Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. Maria Preckett, gee, she's the busiest girl in the house tonight. Let's talk more about this stadium, Maria.
Well, it is a beautiful stadium. Lots of rivalries, as we've been talking about all day, happen here. This is only the second year these two teams have met for rugby, but it has a long, rich history. 2009 marks the 50-year anniversary of the Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium, and it is a stunning and historic symbol of the competitive prowess of Naval Academy athletics. The original stadium was constructed in 1958 at a cost of $3 million. The funds came from private donations, and the facility was dedicated in September the following year. A $40 million renovation of the stadium, carried out from 2002 through 2005, has turned it into a state-of-the-art facility, and the field itself has been named in honor of Jack Stevens, a 1947 graduate of the Academy. In its half-century of existence, Memorial Stadium has welcomed more than 5 million spectators who witness Naval Academy events in football, soccer, lacrosse, and rugby. But the true measure of the stadium lies not only in its history, but also in the history that it represents. The entire outside of the stadium is dotted with gates and markers commemorating past midshipman classes, and the pavilion at the north end of the facility features plaques to thank those individuals and corporations who have supported Naval Academy athletics throughout the years. In addition, 8,000 seatbacks are emblazoned with commemorative markers that add to the legendary atmosphere. On the facade that circles the inside of the stadium are the names of significant battles from throughout Naval and Marine Corps history. And in arched alcoves on the North Memorial Plaza are detailed explanations of these battles. Centuries of courage and sacrifice are represented throughout this hallowed ground. Matching the history of the stadium are its traditions, such as the legendary March of the Midshipmen, in which Naval Academy students parade across campus and file into the stadium before major events. The aura of this arena is best summed up by its dedication plaque, which reads in part that the stadium be a perpetual reminder that the Navy and Marine Corps are organizations trained to live nobly and serve courageously. In peace, champions of our integrity. In war, defenders of our freedom.
Brian, this campus, like the other two service academies, just dripping with tradition and honor, and it just reminds us why we are so grateful for all of those young Americans who wear the uniform of this great country. All right, speaking of great, let's talk about this first half. Let's get to the highlights right now. As we mentioned a moment ago, Army got on the scoreboard first.
And the first 5 minutes belonged to Army. When they got it wide, they're trying to get it out to Latu Vahai as much as they can. Here's Geib going through to Josh Minton. Minton puts Latu Vahai in the clear. Good job by Vahai, keeping control to make it 5-0. But then, again, this guy, Kevin Dewey, he just spurred this Navy team on, and we think it was number 3, Alan Higgins, that might have dotted down that ball. One of the biggies got it. And how about the kick? And a Jake Cole 4 for 4 in that first half. He slotted 2 penalty kicks. There's his second one. That's his first. I think his second one's coming up almost the same place to make it 13-5. That was scored with a man in the sin bin, and then Hartzog through some poor tackling by Army. He goes right through to make it 20-5 on Jake Cole's 4th conversion, 4th successful. Good finish by this Navy side. Again, Dave, we talked about it. Once they cut down their mistakes, they really did well.
Well, the kids in blue are happy. The ones in gray, not so right now. 20-5, our halftime score. We've got a wonderful second half coming your way when we return. It's Army, it's Navy, it's the National Guard Game of the Week. ES back at Annapolis, about to start the second half. Maria catches up with Coach Flanagan.
Thanks, guys. Coach, a little bit of a slow start, but you really came back at the end of the first half.
It was a very slow start. We had a couple of bad angles. We gave up a score that maybe we wouldn't give up, but we did. And the guys stayed together. We had a couple of bad bounces that we fought them off down there. And at the end of the day, we were able to keep on their goal line and get some points on them.
Now, what'd you tell your team at halftime?
Okay, we got to keep it on. It's about pressure. We've been able to put a lot of defensive pressure on these guys, and it's working. They're a little flustered. They're a little offsides. So as long as we can keep them in that mode, we're going to be fine. If we let them out of it, watch out.
Well, thanks so much and good luck.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Coach Flanagan. Thank you, Maria. We're ready for the second half to begin. Army now with that wind at their back, trailing by 15, 20-5, and also playing with 14 for a couple more minutes. The kick taken by Navy. We'll see what kind of confidence they've built at that halftime. Brian, as they move the ball out to the wing, Bova. And into touch.
Well, they're still running pretty confidently. Bova, that's the second time he turned outside, easily bundled in touch, allows the defense just to do a little minimal work, pushes him into touch. Now turnover ball. A nice throw right down the center. Good take. I think that was Miles Rowan who skied high.
Geib has had a very good game for Army. Gets the ball to Sheehan. It's Andy Dill who is still in the sin bin. The inside center for Army. And they're doing a good job, are the Cadets. Start the second half. Oh, there's your knock on, and that's going to be whistled dead. Oh, nope. Army catches a big break. Navy offside. Instead of a scrum to Navy, it's going to be an Army kick. Wow.
And let's see what they do here. They can take some time off the clock trying to kick for goal, try to add 3 points on, but looks like they're going to try to kick into touch, go for that line out, down attacking, 5 meters out possibly.
And it looks like they're going to go onto their bench right now. And that, number 21, I believe, is Wasilewski. Matt Wasilewski on for Army. And let's try to find out who he replaced. And I believe he's on for Matt Huggins, which we...
Jeremy Huggins, yep, you're
Jeremy
right.
Huggins.
Well, Huggins had a partial AC shoulder separation. So he's been plagued by injuries. A good player, but plagued by injuries throughout his career. And Wasilewski does everything well. Classic open side flank.
Clearing kick does just that. However, it will be an Army lineout, including Matt Wasilewski.
And Dave, have you noticed the wind's not nearly as bad as it was in the first 40?
Not quite, but Old Glory is still pointing right at us from that north end.
I don't think that's straight. No, referee said play on.
Let it go, and then the ball's on the deck, and Zach Severi recovers for Army, and they start again. Dive with a little punch. Not handled very well by the Navy's Bova.
Well, the referee made a good call there. Good steal by Navy at their breakdown.
Dewey's pass out to Nylon. Nylon make it. Navy.
Navy's got some numbers.
And they go straight ahead. And the ball is tossed forward.
Yeah, just a little too long in developing. They had that's 4-on-3 or 4-on-2 out wide there. Navy just took too much time. And there's the almost created, almost could have took it back in. Matt Bova did, but unfortunately couldn't handle it. It's going to be an Army put in. But they had some serious numbers out wide and a lot of green in front of them.
John Wagner, the halfback for Army.
A good scrum by Navy.
Picked up on the back end. Nice movement that time. Started by Pete Belden, taking something bad, making it good. Back inside they go. They bring the wing in. That's Vahai.
Oh, the referee said play on. I think that was a knock. Now he's playing advantage to Army.
Geib, good running. Sends it inside. Nicely done. That's Wasilewski. Fresh feet off the bench. And penalty against Navy. Goes back to the point. And penalty to Army. Let's see, Brian. That would be a pretty much about a 7-iron shot, but no, they're going to put it into touch instead and go with the line out.
And let's see the long pass out here. Well, there's Geib coming back inside, and there's Wasilewski. Yeah, fresh legs, get him the ball. And that's what you want. You want these guys to make an impact when they come in. And there you see Army losing his feet. That's why they brought the penalty back. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't go for 3 points, Dave. You know, you got to try to chip into this lead when you get the opportunities.
They go to the bench again with Kevin Kerr. He's a lock, and he's into the ballgame for Dan Moulton.
Oh, and a good steal at the front. That was number 4. That was Andy Zock again for Navy, getting a paw on that ball.
Nice handling by Hartzog, too. Navy now going the wrong direction, under a lot of pressure. That's Smith. And he goes onto the deck, in goal, 5-meter scrum to Army.
Yeah, and that's where you got to just take it straight up. You try to set it up with your forwards instead of giving your teammates worse possession. And Navy nearly cost themselves a try, and Army's still in great attacking position.
Yeah, that hot potato business does not work down there.
And you're going to get that with inexperienced sides. And that's exactly what this Navy team is. Not a lot of leadership. Some pretty good inexperience out there. Let's see if they take a stab around the weak side. Oh, look at that. Army
went 90.
Yep. And prior to that, Army was very solid on their own possession. I don't think they lost a foot in this whole game.
They have not.
Let's see what Navy does. This is when you really want to suck it up, play tough defense. There's the turning ball, the scrum, and who's the guy right there? Dewey. Dewey always seems to be around the ball. And now Navy's got to try to get a stable scrum. Allow the fly half. Chuck Smith try to clear the tucks, clear the lines.
Ooh, the kick by Smith at midfield. Here's Minton. Josh on the deck. Army set to attack. Although they lose the ball in the tackle, here comes Navy. Turnover ball. And Navy has some difficulty, and they go back to the point. I thought that was the case, that Kevin Dewey took his eye off it as he picked it up, knocked it forward, and it'll be a scrum to Army.
Yeah, just a little bit of a knock by Dewey. Good call by the referee. I'm not sure if he needed help from his side judge or not.
Both teams here in the second half. No scoring yet. 20-5 our score. Both teams with a pair of turnovers so far.
And Army still man down.
At the back of the scrum is Wagner. Bringing in the back line side wing. That's Fleming.
Well orchestrated backline move by Army. They're going backwards if the referee has the arm out.
Penalty against Navy. A quick tap. This is your number 8 here that you talked about, and Pete Belden, and he caught Navy sleeping. Penalty against Navy. They just walked back, and the number 8 from West Point said, "You're going to give me that much space, I'll take it from you." Score for Army.
Yeah, good call. Again, one of the leaders of this Army side. Watch the quick tap, 22 meters out. All the Navy guys are just sleeping. Oh, that's an easy walk to the line. Bad defense by Navy. They have to get back. Once you hear that whistle, you got to get 10 meters back, or at least be in that retreating position. They didn't do that. There's the penalty coming up. Good quick play by Belden. Nobody even touches him until he gets down to the try line. Good play.
So here's your conversion attempt by Josh Minton. And it's good, and it's not Minton, it's Mike Fleming. We haven't seen Army take a kick. So there you see Mike, the right wing for the Corps of Cadets. And he nails that conversion. Now it's 20-12. Navy still with a 2-score advantage.
And Dave, worse news for Navy. I think Army's back at full strength now.
I believe that you're correct. There's Mr. Dill.
And that could be a penalty, hitting him in the air. Referee said play on.
Navy's tackles are coming up too high now, and Army's taking advantage of it. That time it was Bob O'Neill, the flanker. Geib, Minton. Into Fleming, who just kicked the conversion a moment ago. He's down in the tackle now. Army methodically moving up the field with some very good passing, good support work. Geib makes the ball available in the tackle.
Good driving defense that time by Dan Hall. Navy needed a big stick, and they got it.
And they get the break on the penalty.
Well, Dewey's not letting up, is he?
No.
Got to watch himself there. He doesn't get isolated. Referee playing advantage, though.
Army was not back 10.
And he's been playing a long advantage. Let's see how long he goes with this one.
Caitlin moved it forward.
How about Dave Geib? Good counter-rucking for Army.
Squirting onto the ground is Hartzog. He scored the try for Navy in the closing moments of the first half. Bring it around to the flanker, Osley. Straight ahead goes number 5, Dan Hall. He's a Marine lock. He's a logger in Vermont. Runs straight ahead like a logger. Try it again. Move it through the middle. Here's Christensen. Ball ends up going forward. It's going to be stopped unless Army can do something with it. It's their advantage. And play is blown dead.
Yeah, wonderful backline play by Navy. I thought Christensen to Cole, that combination was going to work. He had the hand out. The ball was free. Unfortunately, just a little bit high. Here it is again. Look at the nice break up through the guts by Christensen. Just a little bit high and a little bit behind Jake Cole. And there was the knock on, but that could have been an easy 5-point.
All right, Maria, check in with us, please.
All right, guys, I have Sergeant First Class Gino Sellers from the National Guard. Gino, momentum for this game and the series has been great, all leading up to the college championship.
Yes, it's been great. You know, unfortunately, it's got to come to an end and segue over into the national championship. But you know what? We're happy to be a part of it, and hopefully we'll get a chance to do it again next year and make it longer.
Well, and something else a lot of people might not know about is the KIT program. The National Guard is all about the youth of America and rugby.
That's correct. The College KIT program is set up to where we can go ahead and reach out to those communities who may not have the luxury of having a big program. So that way they can go out and just focus on playing it and match up with their counterparts. The recruiters get a chance to take the kit over to the teams, and they set them up with uniforms and equipment and so forth. And so today you'll see those teams out in the stands today.
Well, it's all a great program. Guys, back up to you.
Thank you, and our thanks to National Guard and to the Sergeant. It's an outstanding program, and we appreciate all their efforts. How about the National Guard here supporting a match between Army and Navy? Perfect. You know, it does remind you, Brian, that not everybody in the service goes to one of the service academies, and that's an understatement by a gross amount. So appreciation to the National Guard as well. All right, Navy's got one loose. This is Zock. Zock very close down into the corner. Navy pushes across, and that is in. It's going to be
And it looked like a try. I think it was a try to Dan Hall. The two lock combination, the two locks combined for an excellent try. And again, going down the weak side, Andy Zock, we see him in the lineout. Look at the placement, though. Does well to place that ball back. And then his second row partner, good reach over by Dan Hall. That was the logger you mentioned just a couple of minutes ago. Good response by this Navy side. Nice speed down the wing by Andy Zock. Does well. Look at how he used the sideline perfectly. Came back in bounds. Knew he had some men in support. And then the good reach over by Dan Hall.
You know the best part about that, Brian? If you're a young man playing high school football and you're an interior lineman, those were two tackles to do that. So in this game, all 15 get to run. In this case, the two locks, predecessors of the American football tackles, they got to run down the field, put on a show, and Messrs. Zock and Hall score for Navy. And the conversion attempt against the wind hits the pole.
Well, there goes Cole's perfect record. He was 4 for 4 with a win behind him. That was an excellent kick, though. Almost put an extra 2 points on the board for this Navy squad, but 25-12. Good reply by this Navy side, keeping the heat on this Army team.
The restart kick taken by Caitlin. The hooker setting up for the clearing kick. Not going to clear. Instead, taken by Minton. Minton straight up the middle. Missed tackle by Navy. Minton still on his feet now. Horse collar down just outside 22. Wagner taking his time. Now sets it up. Ball went directly to Vahai. Big belting going on in the middle of the field. And there's some space here for Army. Minton. The prop got offside. That's the problem. Minton instead stays on his feet inside 22.
Oh, he's going to lose it, though. Good steal by, was that Dewey again? I think that was the skipper, Dewey. Setting the example. Good little play.
Great opportunity for Army to, believe you're right, that little man right there just takes it, and here he goes again.
Right up for the quick tap.
We have the player of the game, we're going to have the Energizer Bunny of the game, and we know who that is. And that's caused Army some distress in defense. Tap it to Navy. A little flat, and that's going to cost them there.
Yeah, Navy can't be cute here. They just got to take it up hard. They're getting themselves in trouble. Oh, the ref, look, he's bringing it all the way back. Boy, he's taking a long advantage. Okay, let's see if this is Dewey. Squirting through, taking the tackle on Minton.
It was.
Yep, making a steal. Watch him pop right back up for the quick tap. Caught under a couple of big boys. There's a whistle popping right up. Good little play by the skipper.
Well, he plays like a sevens guy, and that would make some sense. He's an 8-year rugby guy, played in high school, and played for a guy named Caravelli, as an Al Caravelli, the U.S. sevens coach at Fairfield Prep. So this senior very much in the rugby know. Young man, 8 years into the game, and playing like it today.
And Flanagan was telling me that he refuses to lose any fitness drills. He will win every fitness test they have.
I have absolutely no difficulty believing that.
Here's Navy, good attacking position again. Their line out, you know, they've struggled throughout the season, but it's not been too bad today. Sheridan Catlin, the hooker. I tell you, when you got two big targets, Andy Zock has taken down a ton of ball today.
Oh, nice take for Army that time.
Yep, still bobble around.
Commentators curse again.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Here's Gibe's kick, and he's looking for space. Instead, he finds Jake Cole. Not a terribly effective kick as the fullback for Navy gets it near midfield. And Navy sets the ruck. Opportunity now. They're close to midfield. Little dance that time by Magnuson. That number 8 gets Navy across the halfway line. On the attack, they lead it 25-12 second half.
Oh, I like the way Navy's just retaining possession. Nothing too pretty out there, nothing too cute.
And a missed tackle and attempt to chip ahead. I'm not sure that Nayland would do that again. Army's going to get the turnover ball. Guy with the sidestep, still on his feet, and with a good pass, and one outside. The high, and a dummy, and straight ahead. Army with a great rush now here in the second half. And it's going to be a scrum to the Army after the ruck did not produce the ball.
Well, it looked like Vahai might have got away with one. He does well to get through this Navy defense. Right when he gets brought down, now watch, does he play the ball off the ground? Well, the referee said play on. It looked like he was still on the tackle. The referee said play on, allowed Army to continue. And it's going to be Army with a put in. They got to get a score here. About 20 minutes into the second half.
And you get into a game like this with the rivalry we've talked about so much, and 25-12 our score, the turnovers become a big part. So far, Navy has turned it over 5 times here in the second half. Army has turned it over 4 times. And now here's Army with the wind at their back, needing a score. And good possession. Ahead goes Andy Dill. He had a nice 10-minute rest, courtesy of a yellow card.
Oh, not a whole lot of room on this weak side. Maybe a bad decision. They had 4 or 5 guys packed over there. Referee saw the knock on cleanly.
Yeah, it was Pete Belden, number 8, who threw a bullet into Mike Rowan's hands. And that was the knock on.
Well, let's see it here. Here comes Belden up front. Yeah, too hard a pass and good defense. I think that was Nayland in perfect position for Navy. But if I were Navy, I'd just try to get it down in this Army end of the field. Try to make them play that whole 80, 90 meters down here. Try to get themselves back in the game. Navy in no hurry to get things going here. And now that wind's picking up just a little bit more. Now, more time off the clock here as they reset this scrum.
And the breeze you said was dissipating is now back in full form.
The curse again.
Yeah, that's right. You're no longer allowed to make comments about the weather.
Yeah, but pretty impressive the way Navy has come back. The first 5 or 10 minutes, as Mike Flanagan said, started out miserably slow for them, but then they really started getting their confidence, keeping the ball, retaining possession, and have worked it well. They've scored some wonderful tries today.
Well, the recent history of this match, home team wins. Here we go. Kick by Smith. It's going to be taken by Minton.
Good defense. I think that was Christensen and Hartzog that came up again. Those talented centers for this Navy side.
Navy with lots of attackers out. They go to Fleming. Fleming with a break at halfway. Army needs to maintain the possession. Nah, somebody held on to it.
Oh, I think that was
pushing it back, yeah.
Oh, I think that was Dewey with another great defensive play.
And then a knock on by Navy, so.
Yeah, I think that was Dewey again. I think he was a little quick on that quick tap that time.
We're going to take a timeout here in the second half. 25-12 in favor of Navy. Welcome back to Annapolis, Maryland. I'm Dave Sitton along with Brian Vizard, Maria Prekagis, and our ESPN crew watching the National Guard game of the week, Army-Navy, and the Navy gives up a penalty. Here comes Army. In particular, it's Pete Belden on the quick tap. That was the 24th penalty against Navy this match. Army's accumulated 22, so between the two, 44 penalties. Yipes.
And we've had those turnovers too, so quite a few stoppages in play. Oh, is there another turnover? Nope, looks like Army's in control here. They got a lot of guys out wide if they can spin it.
Here's Guy. Put it through. Nicely done. This is that big flanker again, Bob O'Neill. O'Neill racing to the corner. O'Neill with one to beat. They're not going to bring this kid down. O'Neill in for the try for Army.
Just what Army needed. They needed an individual effort. If they weren't going to get a team-wise, Bob O'Neill splendid open field run from 50. Look at the quick tap and watch this gap open wide. O'Neill goes right through the inside center, gets past the winger, fullback, the last man to beat, and he goes around the. Actually, I think that was Bova and the fullback. Watch this gap. This should be a great view of this gap opening up wide, right outside the shoulder of Geib. Well, I guess we're going to catch the tail.
There he is.
There's a good shot of Bob O'Neill, though, coming right at you. Aggressive on attack, aggressive on defense, very quick. Played some high school rugby, scored 3 tries earlier this year against Penn State, so no stranger to the dry zone.
Conversion attempt by Fleming. Dead on. Well, you want a rivalry game? You want to make it close? They've done it. Navy 25, Army 19. About 20 minutes left in the match, just under that. And Navy now is going to put the ball back into play quickly.
And Dave, great thing for Army, they cut it to just a 1 try differential here. If they get a converted try, they're back in the lead. And again, good defensive play by Dewey.
Yeah, Wagner put up that corkscrew kick. It was very effective, put Navy under a lot of pressure. Instead, it'll be a scrum now to the Navy, just inside midfield for Navy. On the Army side of the pitch. Yeah, look like they got their bell rung a little bit. That's our friend prop Alan Higgins. He's playing. J.P. Murphy has played a lot of tight head prop for Navy this season, but he's out with a toe injury. So Alan had the start today. He was part of that try, and we believe he scored the try for Navy that got them on the scoreboard for the first time. It appears that he is hearing the ship bells right now.
And Dave, it's a luxury that Navy has not right now, because they hope J.P. Murphy's going to be ready for that Sweet 16. Both these teams go into the Sweet 16.
And Maria steps up right now. Maria, what can you tell us?
Well, earlier we talked to the sergeant about the kit program. I'm here with some proud recipients. Brad, tell me what it's like to get some of this grant.
It's great. It's been a big help for our club. We look organized. It frees up a lot of financial ends for us to do other things with the money that we have, what little money we have. And the kids look good. They feel good about themselves.
And Hannah, how's it done, and what's it changed your life to get this?
It's really made an impact on us. I see women's rugby, girls rugby as an under-recognized sport, and it really kind of gives us a little more validation and recognition, which is something that I think our sport really needs. So I think it makes our team a better team. We feel great. We love our new uniforms. We play better. And I think it just really makes us more of a team together as one. So
great. Guys, it's all about the you.
Bova takes the ball and takes it well into Army territory. And Brian, I'm looking there, looks like he went into touch. Matt Bova, sophomore, and another former Navy Academy gridiron player. Army, after the ball, run into touch, has the line out, ball not thrown straight. Here comes Navy now, Brian. This could be a big play for the Navy.
Huge mistake by Army. The ref's going to let them throw it over. Maybe they weren't ready. Maybe they weren't at the line.
That's exactly what's going to happen. You see Kevin Kerr, number 22, came off the bench for Army midway through this second half.
Oh, did that go 5? The referee said, yeah. Remember that throw in the lineout's got to go 5 meters. There's Belden, another good low run from that last breakdown. I don't know if that was Belden, but good play.
It's Chris Frederick, number 3, the tight head prop for Army.
Oh, look at Army doing well just to try to get some distance out from their goal line.
This is just a close order drill with a ball. Here comes the kick. Do they find touch? Nope. Instead, Cole will still have plenty of time on the counterattack. And with his one pass, he finds Nayland. Nayland has got some gas. Nayland misses, gets by one. Nayland looking for some help. Makes it available. Nice play at the tackle by the Navy wing. Get it to the lock. Zock. Zock has had a big run already this half. Here comes Zock again. On the angle. Sets it down. About 5 meters away from the try. And a penalty against Army. And I would suggest we're going to see Jake Cole now. It's a 6-point Navy lead. A successful penalty goal makes it a 2-score lead. Here comes Zock again.
Yeah, I like the way the big man plays in the open field. We've seen him do well in the lineouts. There's the penalty right there. Geib offside. And Dewey would have had an excellent opportunity, I think, to probably put a try in. Zock didn't see Geib come from the backside. Yeah, see, there's the mistake. Geib never came back around the gate. Picked the ball up right where he was.
There will be a discussion about running towards the try line, not diagonally. All right, so as we thought, Jake Cole will come in. If he's successful, he makes it a 2-score lead. 25-19. And he does. So he made all of his kicks in the first half with the wind at his back. Here in the second half, on a conversion attempt, he hit the pipe and missed, and now gives Navy a 9-point lead over Army.
And Dave, still plenty of time for this Army team to do some damage. Just 13 minutes left. Still need a couple of scores though.
Here comes Smith. And a quick line out for Army. And Army now aware that the clock is not their ally. This ball chipped, and it will find touch. Nice work that time by John Wagner, the halfback for Army, as he puts the ball down in the corner.
And Dave, you know what we missed? We missed a guy. That was a professional foul. Referee said professional foul. You're sitting in the bin for 10 minutes, so huge blow to this Army side.
My goodness, that's why Josh Minton, number 15, will come in and play at the fly-half spot. As they'll go with a wing at fullback and put the fullback at fly half. So a lot of pressure. That's the second time today that Army's lost a player. You might recall in the first half, Anthony Dill. And I believe it was a professional foul, not
spearing.
Not spearing, exactly. And so as you take a look now, a little more pressure on that young man. That's Latu Vahai, who'll play half a fullback now. They'll rotate their wings around to accomplish that with Minton up.
Oh boy, that was a big break. Another big break for Navy. Army couldn't handle that line. It looked like a pretty good throw. The jumpers couldn't handle it.
Mike Rowan had that get off it. There's the knock on Rowan as he went up number 5.
And here's where I think Dewey's got to play a little bit smarter. He's got the man advantage. No reason for this Navy team to take it up all the time. No quick taps if you don't have to. Try to kill the clock a little bit. They got the lead. They got a 9-point lead. That's 2 scores. So good time for composure here from the skipper.
About 10 minutes to go, a little over that. And this renewal of this wonderful rivalry, Army-Navy. Here comes the kick. And that, Brian, that's one of the things that makes you wonder.
Yep.
There was nobody on that side because remember, the wings are playing fullback. And in that particular instance, a successful kick would have put all kinds of pressure on Army. Instead, it goes directly into touch, and here comes the Cadets.
And I think Army knows the urgency that they're in. Good quick line out play.
Minton gets it. Nice bit of handling that time by Dill. Wow, under a great deal of pressure. They go to Belden. Black Knights come again. This is Minton, the fullback turned fly half.
Referee playing advantage.
Short side again. Center Sheehan. Still advantage.
Yeah, there's nothing down that weak side. They have it pretty well defensed. The organized defense by this Navy side has been very impressive today.
Prop Frederick takes it forward. Now one of the locks. The Army's been very good lately about this hammering business. And offside. So now if you're Army, you kick your penalty goal here and you're down by a score. We'll see what the decision.
They really haven't been doing that. Let's see what they do here. They got a man down. They got to score some points, but they also got to kill a little bit of that time. Let's see. Again, they're going to go for the line out.
Yep. Looks like they'd rather kick a game-winning goal. All right, this line out will be about 6 meters out. Down a man. About 9 minutes remain in the game. That's unofficial. Of course, the referee, Gareth Morgan, is the official timekeeper.
Yeah, Dave, I wouldn't be surprised to see him keep it with the forwards here, try to drive it over that try line. The Army defense, or Navy defense, has been pretty solid. Let's see if they can take this ball down.
Yeah, I would not put it in the line. There, you're right. They move in. They brought their number 8 Belden in.
Now they got to watch that sideline.
That white line is not, that's a lacrosse line. It's the gold lines we're playing here.
Oh, nice counter-rucking by Navy, but good counter-rucking by Army.
Counter intelligence. All right, here comes Army now. They're very close. It's that gold line. Just as you suggested they might do, Brian. Send it out. Here's Minton. Minton so close to the line, spun down in the tackle right in front of the posts. Army within a meter. Army to the line. Army. They're going to go to the touch.
Well, he's over the try line.
It is a try. I think that double line down there has got everybody confused, including Army that time, but their forwards, just as you suggested, come up with the try.
I think that was O'Neal with his second big power. That was Minton that got it awfully close. He's got whipped down that time by Hall. Here's the drive forward. Now the big boys. I think that's O'Neal that picks up.
And O'Neal gets the try.
Yeah, look at that good body position. That's the yellow line. The yellow line's the try. They got double credit. They went over the white line too.
Well, it was a year ago in this stadium. Navy won 1917 on a final kick. And here it is a year later. This conversion, if good, and it misses.
Ooh. Ooh.
Wow.
Big miss.
Mike Fleming with the miss. 28-24. So Army would have needed a kick to win. Now they need a try to win. 7 minutes remain unofficially in this match here at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium, Annapolis, Maryland. And has this been a dandy?
Another fantastic National Guard ESPNU game of the week. It's our third great one. Great crowd on hand once again. Another exciting finish. The referee said that went backwards, I think. I don't see the arm out.
All correct. Army ruck. Boy, that missed conversion, a monster for Army. So now they've got to get the ball dotted down in the line, and don't forget they're playing down a man right now. Still, I don't imagine that we'll see Guybon until about 5 minutes remaining in the match. So still, Minton, the fullback, plays that position. Move it out, they got some room. They give it to that big kid again. Bob O'Neal, a major player here in the second half. Minton across the halfway line. Army on attack. Straight forward goes Savari.
Nice clean ball, plenty of time here for Army. Oh, was that a knock? No.
Yes, sir.
Oh, jeez.
I believe that was off O'Neal.
Looked like a good pass. Just could not handle it. That's going to relieve a little bit of pressure for Navy. Again, Navy, they should just put it down in the corner. Make this Army team work, trying to get back downfield. Manage the clock a little bit better.
Army in the second half has turned the ball over 10 times. Navy just 7. 28-24, 4 points between them. And about 6 minutes remain.
See, Dave, I have Geib coming back in with only about 2 minutes left in the game.
Off the back of the scrum, here comes Navy. Inside Army territory. Cleared out. Nicely done. That gets into the hands of Hartzog. He has a try already today. Back inside to Hart. Make that Christensen. Christensen does the pirouette into tackle. Give it this time to the flanker, Roars.
Oh, they got him out wide. They got it out.
Big pass that time to their number 8. That's to Magnuson.
Well, it looked like an Army player was offside. The referee said play on.
Looks like Army's taking the turnover ball they have. So off the hook they dance. Here comes a big kick. All right, here comes Cole with opportunity. Cole right down the middle, taken down.
Oh, nice ruck.
That's not often you see a guy retreat like that. Andy Zock takes it. The lock turns it north.
Oh, nice
Navy
job
now
by Navy.
punishing the Army defense. Here they come again. This time it's Redder. Jason.
Well, when you've had a guy sin-bin twice, or two guys sin-bin, you're going to work extra hard to make up for it.
Boy, doesn't Navy know that now. They're going to just hammer this baby in for a while now. And instead, they lose the possession. It's going to be a scrum awarded to Army.
Oh, nice ruck by that Army forward pack. Good drive, good body position. Referee awards them the scrum. Looks like we might have a man down. Nope. And here comes Guy coming back on.
Yeah, I thought so with about 5 ago. Well,
we're about right, both of us.
There we go.
About 3 minutes left in the game. Just to make it a little more exciting here. It's just 4 points adrift. They need to score a try or 2 penalty kicks. Unless they get in position really quick for a penalty kick, we're going to see all those penalties taken for tries or lineouts.
Everybody in this building on their feet, including us. Guy back in.
Oh,
he makes the break.
You got to make the first tackle.
Army sets up well for their ruck. Second phase coming up.
Well, they got some numbers out here, Dave.
Boy, this is like a heavyweight bout here in the 15th round.
And the back line's just got to recognize where those gaps are, and here he is.
Here comes the halfback, Wagner. Wagner with the kick ahead, putting pressure on everybody. Who's going to get to the ball? It's going to be chipped out by Matt Bova, the wing from the other side. And look at this, Army will have a line out 5 meters out.
Oh, I don't know about this. I like the little stab ahead, but there's a 2-on-1. If he would have looked out to his other way, he had a 2-on-1 opportunity. But as it was, Bova beat the race back. Oh,
not clean this time. However, Army does recover. Now they're at 3 meters. Wagner waiting for the ball. Army fully in control. They keep it with their forwards. Navy has set their defense. 2 meters away. And here comes Army over, and they score the try. The Cadets.
You see who it is?
Bob O'Neill again.
What a second half he's had.
We are going to select a National Guard man of the match, and I'll tell you what, right now, Brian, without your consultation, but I'm sure with your permission and agreement, if this Army lead holds up for the next 2 minutes, he's our guy.
Oh, look at the drive. Good body position. He had a little help that time by Pete Belden. But good drive. Again, that Army forward pack. Excellent job. They're the ones who got the Army team back in this game. And let's see about this conversion attempt. Still an important one.
Minton. And this one is good. All right, well, if you like ties, we'll see. It's a 31 to Army, 28 to Navy. We've seen already that Jake Cole can strike the ball very well, but it will be one of those decisions the senior class makes. I know all about this, Brian, seen it recently. Do they want to go for the tie or the win? Here they go. Here comes Navy on the kickoff. And the ball was knocked forward. That was a great effort that time by one of the Navy forwards. I did not catch the number.
Yeah, but a huge opportunity here for Army just to kill out the clock, get the nice solid scrum, have Guy just put it up in the air into touch, and that might be it. We might be at that final whistle.
I think there might be a little bit of extra time. We'll see.
Oh, good platform. Oh, interesting. I'm surprised they ran the ball.
Well, they are in front of 22, so If they kicked a touch, they better be very certain that this is the final play. And Army now punishing with their forwards. Boy, the absolute confidence by those kids in the black uniforms and their forwards right now is sky high.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see that same thing, Dave. Just the forward pickup, drive, trying to kill out this clock. That must be it. I think this next whistle, we're into injury time. That next whistle might just be it. Nothing fancy here. Wait for your forwards. Don't get caught in isolation. Just do all the simple things right, and you're going to come away with a victory.
Pick it up at the back. And this is Belden. Belden does a great job, and this might seal it for Army. They get it out to the wing behind.
Well, there's that isolation. Nope, the referee said Army advantage.
So the Army back inside Navy territory, closing moments of the game. A three-point advantage for the Cadets, and now they're wide open. Here's Minton, one outside him. Here's the pass to Fleming. Fleming sidesteps, Fleming to the line. Fleming, he scores the try.
How about winning in style, huh? Excellent move by Army. There they are. A happy group of guys, happy group of cadets. There's Fleming. He's trying to make up for that missed conversion.
And this conversion, Brian, no doubt about it, is the final play of this match.
Boy, a heartbreaking loss for this Navy side. They had the lead for much of the game, but look at Fleming cut back in, the line in sight. Good control of the ball. He did ground the ball, referee right there. And that's going to wrap it up. But again, heartbreaking loss for this Navy side.
The conversion, it sails right through the sticks. Army tallies another 7, and they will return on that 5.5-hour picturesque bus ride back to West Point, having swept the season, and now with this 38-28 win. What a fabulous match for both teams, Brian. Of course, Navy on the second side of it, but for that young team that Coach was talking about, this is a stunning, stunning day. Maria Prekage. I did it right all the other times.
Good try, guys. Hey, I am with the winning coach. Coach, it went back and forth. What a fabulous game.
Yeah, we got to hand it to Navy. I mean, that is a great team over there, and they made us work for it. And you know, but we came up in the end, and that was a bit of a struggle. So you know, the boys pulled together. We talked about it at halftime. We're going to go in. We're going to play our ball. We're going to play possession, play the corners, use this wind, and you know, good things will happen. And that's, you know, I think we got to thank someone upstairs for that one. That was too close to call, but Navy's just a class act program, and I'm so proud of my guys here. So, but yeah.
It was a great game, guys. It doesn't get much better than this.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
What a sight here at Annapolis. There's the Army kids in their gray, and they are happy. And they are ecstatic as Army sweeps the season. Both teams will go on to Sweet 16 play, and we'll have more about that when we wrap it up. We'll come back to Annapolis, Maryland, right after this. The very happy group that came from behind for this 10-point win, 38-28 our final score. Maria Prekage right now with the Navy coach, Mike Flanagan.
Thanks, guys. Coach, wow, what a game. Back and forth, back and forth.
Wow, absolutely. Well, it's typical Army-Navy game, and they got a couple. We thought we had them. They got a couple in the last couple minutes, and it's painful. It's painful to lose to Army like this. Painful to lose to Army anyways, but you know, giving up the ghost in the last 3-4 minutes, it's really tough.
And what are you going to do to prepare for Atlanta?
Well, we're just going to stay the course. I think that we played 78 really good minutes of high-performance rugby tonight, and we got to play 80. So, you know, Army's a good team. They never quit, and as evidenced by tonight, you know, neither did we. We stayed on it as long and as hard as we both could, and Army came out on top, and that's just the way these battles go.
Well, good luck in Atlanta, and thanks for talking with us.
Thank you very much.
Guys.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Coach Flanagan. And Maria and Coach Flanagan, of course, referring to the Sweet 16 of college rugby. They will be taking on Arkansas State at Life University in that Sweet 16. Let's take a look at some of the highlights, Brian, of this incredible match.
And there were many in that second half. And there's Pete Belden, the quick tap penalty. Nobody was there for Navy. That was a really soft try, 20-12. They got themselves back in the game. But then a good response, another penalty kick. Oh, that was the conversion by Mike Fleming, and this is the big Andy Zock down the line. A strong game in the loose and in the line out. Great job positioning the ball back to Dan Hall, his engine room mate, who drives over to make a 25-12. Things look pretty good for Navy at that point. And there's a conversion clanging off the goal, 25-12, the score remains. And here's Bob O'Neill, the big individual try that really got Army back in 25-17. The man had a monster second half. You see him congratulated. And Fleming's conversion made it to 25-19. And then Jake Cole slots his first of the second half to make it 28-18 in favor of Navy. And then with Army with a man in the bin, O'Neill drives over for his second try, and there's the conversion attempt. Fleming no good. 28-24 the score remained, and then O'Neill again with a little bit of help from Pete Belden. 31-28, and then the conversion. And then right at the death, here's Josh Minton getting it out to Mike Fleming. Fleming steps back inside, crosses a line. Good job, and what an outstanding finish by this Army side. Unbelievable, heartbreaking defeat for this Navy side, but very, very good for Rich Polidal and his Army group.
Well, it's tough with the entire Army team with a comeback like they did to select one, but Maria has helped us do just that. Our National Guard is a National Guard player of the game, is from the United States Army, the Corps of Cadets. John Wagner along with Maria.
Guys, no other than number 9, John Wagner. Wow, what a win. You have to be proud of that, but how proud of you to accept this trophy?
Well, it was a big team effort, and it was a big win for Army, big win for Army Rugby, and I couldn't be happier right now.
And what have you guys been talking about? What you talk about at halftime to keep pumped up?
Some old grads came in the locker room and pumped us up, and that really helped us out a lot out there.
Well, congratulations, well deserved.
Thank you, man.
Guys.
Thank you, Maria, and congratulations, John, and to all of the cadets. Quite a few in the stands here in Annapolis on this Saturday, and it was a special day for them as they come from behind and defeat Navy, their arch rival, 38-28. Now, we mentioned that Navy for sure has a determined opponent in the round of 16. It'll be Arkansas State. Army will be in Atlanta as well in another bracket, and they looks like they'll play Pacific Coast 3, which right now figures to be St. Mary's of Moraga, California.
Yeah, in all probability, St. Mary's is going to be heading against Army, and that should be a real good struggle. St. Mary's one of the top teams on the Pacific Coast, and Army, of course, long heritage of being one of the top teams over here. And I'm just impressed by the way Army came back. And John Wagner, you gotta love the way he played. Just led the team brilliantly from his scrum map position. Outstanding marshaling of his forwards, keeping the backs going forward, and that was just phenomenal.
All right, let's take now a look at our play of the game, sponsored by the National Guard. And it occurred here in the second half.
Oh, and this guy, Bob O'Neill, what a monster second half. I tell you, 3 big tries in the second half, all for Army. Like, there's the one that put him in the lead, and that pretty much assured that the Army was going to win this game. They did finish out with one more, courtesy of Fleming, but Bob O'Neill was just outstanding in that second half.
All right, so Army sweeps the 2 matches this year from the Navy. They won at West Point in the fall, and now the spring match here at the Naval Academy, and Maria joins us again.
Well, guys, rugby, very tough sport, and Jeremy, you had to sub out after the first half. Tell me about your ankle and how it's feeling.
Basically, ma'am, I was coming in on a tackle. I ended up rolling it about 20 minutes in. I ended up finishing out the half. We tried taping it at halftime. Wasn't really feeling it good. There was some other guys that are hankering to get in there, so I ended up coming out and they went in, and the scoreboard shows what happened, so keeping fresh legs on the field.
And what the trainers say, how much time off are you gonna have to spend?
He didn't really give me an estimate, ma'am, but I'm thinking I'll be back by Monday, Tuesday at the latest.
All right, we'll take care of it. Thanks for talking to us. Guys?
You didn't mention anything about Jeremy's nose, which looked like he took a crack up there. Well, I did learn from the cadets today what to call Maria. It's ma'am from now on. Thank you, ma'am. Maria,
busy man.
Thank you so much for a great job down there today. Okay, so once again, setting this up now as we get to the end of the regular season of our National Guard coverage of the game of the week in college rugby. Once again, Navy, as you take a look at this great stadium and some of their more important battles. The Navy will once again be in Atlanta, and they'll take on Arkansas State. For Army, it will be St. Mary's. And Brian, as you take a look, probably St. Mary's, and you take a look at this, both of these teams are capable of causing trouble for anybody who plays them in the tournament.
Well, yeah, I think if anybody overlooks these two sides, I think they could be in trouble. We saw the way they could fight back on both these sides, some talent in the back line, some big power forwards up front as well. You know, we saw Cal earlier this year, we saw BYU as well, and a couple of other outstanding teams that, you know, in all probability might be in the Final Four as well. But this was exciting the 3 games. I mean, it was fantastic.
All right, Brian, thank you so much. Well, that'll be it for the National Guard game of the week, as Army have come from behind to defeat Navy in a final this afternoon of 38-28. For Brian Vizard and Maria Prekagis, I'm Dave Sitton saying so long from Annapolis. This has been a presentation of ESPN.